Within the sprawling, sun-drenched plains of Kruger National Park in the heart of South Africa, there existed a creature of legend, a magnificent male lion known throughout the park as the ruler of the savannah. This was no ordinary lion. He was a spectacle of nature's grandeur, a symbol of untamed power and regal dominance. His mane, a cascade of brilliant gold, flowed around his formidable frame, a testament to his strength and vitality. His gait, a proud, deliberate stride, exuded an aura of authority that instilled fear and respect in every creature that crossed his path. Within the boundaries of his territory, no predator dared to challenge his supreme authority, his reign absolute, his dominance unchallenged. Word of this extraordinary lion spread far and wide, drawing tourists from every corner of the globe. They came to Kruger with a singular purpose: to witness the majesty of this legendary animal, to catch a glimpse of the ruler of the savannah, a once-in-a-lifetime encounter with the king of the wild. His existence was a living testament to the raw beauty and untamed spirit of Africa, a creature that embodied the very essence of the park's wilderness. The stories of his strength and dominance echoed through the park, tales that painted a vivid picture of his reign, a reign that was both awe-inspiring and deeply respected. The story begins on a sweltering afternoon, the heat shimmering across the golden grasslands, when a herd of antelopes grazed peacefully by the tranquil waters of a lake. Unbeknownst to them, they were being watched, their every move observed by the cold, calculating gaze of the ruler of the savannah. The lion, a master of stealth and strategy, stalked them from afar, his eyes fixed on a particular target, a strong but somewhat slow leader deer, its movements hampered by an old wound, a vulnerability the lion intended to exploit. With a patience born of experience, he waited for the opportune moment, then unleashed his power, rushing forward with incredible speed, his powerful paws propelling him across the ground in a blur of motion. The deer, startled by the sudden attack, scattered in panic, many of them leaping into the nearby lake, seeking refuge in its depths. The targeted deer, though not a strong swimmer, also plunged into the water, its instinct for survival overriding its fear of the unknown. The lion, driven by the primal urge to secure his prey, followed without hesitation, leaping into the lake, his eyes fixed on the fleeing deer. But the lake held a hidden danger, its depths far greater than the lion had anticipated. As soon as his paws touched the water, he realized he was struggling, his powerful body battling against the unseen currents. The cold water sapped his strength, the strong currents pulling him under, his initial confidence turning into a desperate fight for survival. The deer, though not a skilled swimmer, managed to reach shallower water, its efforts driven by the fear of death. The lion, his struggles growing more desperate, tried to surface, but the swirling currents continued to pull him down, his mighty roars now muffled by the splashing water, his power diminished by the unforgiving lake. In a matter of seconds, the ruler of the savannah was exhausted, his consciousness fading, his magnificent mane drooping, his body beginning to sink into the murky depths, a stark contrast to his usual dominance. At that critical moment, fate intervened in the form of Sifo, a dedicated ranger on patrol, driving his specialized vehicle, his eyes constantly scanning the grassland for any signs of unusual activity. He happened to witness the commotion by the lake, his instincts immediately sensing that something was amiss. At first, he assumed it was a routine hunt, a common sight in the park. But a moment later, he realized the lion had not resurfaced, a clear indication of trouble. Without a second thought, he stopped the car and rushed to the lakeshore, his concern overriding any thoughts of personal danger. Sifo squinted his eyes, searching the water's surface, and spotted a patch of orange-yellow mane, a desperate plea for help from beneath the murky depths. Without hesitation, he quickly removed his jacket and plunged into the lake, his body bracing against the cold, muddy water. The deep, slippery conditions made movement difficult, his feet struggling to find purchase in the muddy bottom. After several dives, his lungs burning, Sifo managed to grab the unconscious lion's front leg, his grip firm, his determination unwavering. He used every ounce of his strength to pull the lion towards shallower water, his muscles straining against the immense weight of the animal. As he neared the shore, the lion's weight became even more apparent, a heavy burden against his own strength. The lion's breathing seemed to have stopped, his eyes closed, his body limp, a stark contrast to the powerful creature he had witnessed earlier. People often spoke of the inherent danger of confronting a lion, but now, the greatest fear was that the ruler of the savannah would perish, his reign ending in the depths of a lake. Sifo, his heart pounding with anxiety, laid the lion on its side on the ground, his movements urgent. He had received first aid training for wild animals, but this was his first encounter with such a large lion, a moment that tested his skills and his courage. Without hesitation, he began to compress the lion's chest, his hands pressing rhythmically, trying to pump air back into its lungs, a desperate attempt to revive the fallen king. Sifo's heart was a drumbeat against his ribs, filled with a faint but persistent hope, a fragile belief that the lion would respond to his efforts, that the training he had received would prove effective. He pressed down on the lion's chest, his compressions steady and persistent, his movements rhythmic and determined, a desperate dance against the encroaching darkness. Sweat dripped from his forehead, mingling with the lake water on the lion's wet mane, a testament to his exertion and unwavering focus. Minutes stretched into an eternity, each passing second a test of his resolve, yet the lion remained still, a lifeless weight against his hands. Sifo gritted his teeth, his determination hardening, and continued the compressions, adhering to the correct procedure, not daring to falter, his mind a whirlwind of hope and fear. He even attempted mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, carefully avoiding the lion's sharp fangs, his actions a desperate plea for life, a silent prayer for a miracle. Suddenly, a tremor ran through the lion's body, a faint twitch, a weak shaking that sent a jolt of adrenaline through Sifo's veins, a glimmer of hope in the face of despair. He stopped, his breath catching in his throat, and placed his ear close to the lion's mouth, listening intently for any sign of breath. A faint puff of air, a shallow breath, confirmed that the lion's heart had begun to beat again. A victory snatched from the jaws of death, a moment of pure, unadulterated relief. Sifo's heart swelled with joy, a wave of relief washing over him, his body trembling with the release of tension. He quickly reached for his radio, his voice filled with urgency and excitement, calling for backup while continuing to monitor the lion's condition, his eyes fixed on the animal's every movement. The lion's breathing was labored, heavy panting breaths, but it was alive, a testament to Sifo's unwavering efforts, a symbol of the power of compassion. With his experience, Sifo retrieved a syringe containing resuscitation medication, his hand steady as he gently injected it into the lion's muscle, careful not to cause any further pain, his touch a soothing balm to the wounded animal. He then stepped back, creating a small space, allowing the lion to recover, his eyes fixed on the animal's every movement, ready to intervene if needed. Time seemed to stand still, a moment of quiet contemplation, as the two lay panting on the shore of the lake, one man, one powerful predator, their fates intertwined. Sifo placed his hand on his chest, feeling the frantic rhythm of his heart, still reeling from the shock of the rescue, his mind a whirlwind of emotions. The lion blinked for the first time, his eyes hazy, his gaze unfocused as he took in his surroundings. The familiar golden eyes, once filled with regal power, were now tired, but a spark of life remained, a flicker of consciousness returning. He struggled to raise his head, his muscles weak, then collapsed again, his body succumbing to exhaustion. Sifo breathed a sigh of relief, knowing the lion was out of immediate danger, but still needed time to recover, to regain his strength. He lingered, monitoring the lion's breathing and heart rate, his senses alert, ready to provide further assistance if necessary. His radio continued to receive messages, inquiries about the situation, but Sifo assured them he had everything under control, his focus unwavering. The sun was slowly setting, casting a golden glow across the landscape, the warm light reflecting off the lion's wet fur, creating a scene of serene beauty. Sifo retrieved a small bottle of water and gently sprinkled it on the lion's face, hoping to stimulate his senses, to aid in his awakening. The lion tried to stretch, his body responding to the cool water, a sign of returning awareness. Sifo understood that the lion needed time to calm down, to adjust to his surroundings, and also needed space to avoid any sudden panic. He quietly backed away, returning to his car, turning on the hazard lights as a warning to any approaching vehicles. He watched from a distance as the lion began to stir, shaking his head as if trying to clear the fog of unconsciousness. His large ears perked up, his eyes focusing on the car where Sifo stood, his gaze steady and alert. Sifo remained calm, his movements slow and deliberate, not wanting to startle the animal. Instinctively, the lion let out a soft roar, a weak sound, a mere echo of his usual powerful voice. He gently stepped closer, extending his hand, offering it for the lion to sniff, a gesture of peace. The lion did not attack, nor did it flee, but only growled softly, a hesitant acknowledgement of Sifo's presence. Sifo smiled, recognizing that the lion was gradually realizing he was not a threat, that he was a friend. After a while, the lion tried to stand, his legs shaky, his movements unsteady. He staggered a few steps, then collapsed again, his body overcome with fatigue. Sifo gently supported him, his touch light, ready to pull away if the lion showed any signs of aggression. He spoke softly, soothing words, as if the lion could understand, his voice a calming presence. "Calm down, my friend," he whispered. "I'll help you." Even though he knew the lion couldn't comprehend his words, the lion blinked, his breathing gradually returning to normal, his body relaxing under Sifo's gentle care. Sifo immediately checked the lion's body for injuries, his hands moving carefully, and found, luckily, that there were no serious wounds, only exhaustion. He returned to his car and retrieved a large piece of cloth, gently covering the lion's body, providing warmth for the night. Sifo decided to stay by the lion's side, a silent guardian, until he had recovered enough to move on his own. Night fell, and the moonlight illuminated the two distinct figures, man and lion, now connected by a thread of kindness, a bond forged in the crucible of rescue. The silence of the night was broken only by the gentle lapping of the lake water and the soft breaths of the recovering lion, a testament to the quiet peace that had settled between them. Sifo, his eyes fixed on the lion's steady breathing, felt a profound sense of connection, a silent understanding that transcended the boundaries of species. He knew that this night, this moment, would forever be etched in his memory, a reminder of the extraordinary bond that can form between humans and the wild. As the first rays of dawn painted the sky with hues of soft pink and gold, the lion stirred, his powerful body regaining its strength. He rose to his feet, his movements slow and deliberate, testing his legs, his senses returning with the rising sun. He began to walk slowly around the car, exploring his surroundings, his eyes scanning the landscape, reclaiming his territory. He sniffed the air, taking in the familiar scents of the savannah, and then, with a surge of renewed energy, raised his head and roared loudly, a thunderous sound that echoed across the plains, a declaration of his return, a proclamation of his restored reign. Sifo smiled, his heart filled with relief and joy, knowing that the lion had passed the critical stage, that he was on the path to full recovery. However, mindful of the lion's well-being, he still used his walkie-talkie to call the support team, requesting they bring the lion back to his safe territory, ensuring he wouldn't be stressed or disoriented. Before the team arrived, Sifo offered the lion some dried meat he had prepared, a gesture of continued care and respect. The lion, though still wary, accepted the offering, looking at Sifo with a strange look, a mixture of pride and gratitude, an unspoken acknowledgement of the life he had been given back. When the support team arrived, they were quite surprised to see the lion acting so docile, so gentle in Sifo's presence. The other staff members, their instincts telling them to be cautious, remained wary, But Sifo signaled that everything was fine, that the lion was safe and calm. After a thorough check, they decided to release the lion back into his familiar area, allowing him to return to his natural habitat, his reign restored. The lion, with a final glance at Sifo, disappeared into the tall grasses, a majestic figure returning to his rightful place. From that day on, a silent, almost mystical connection was woven into the fabric of Kruger National Park. Every time Sifo drove his patrol car across the vast savanna, the majestic lion appeared, a regal figure emerging from the golden grasslands. He would silently follow Sifo's vehicle, his presence a constant, reassuring shadow, a watchful guardian in the untamed wilderness. There was no aggression, no threat, only a quiet, unwavering presence, a silent promise of protection. The lion, the ruler of the savannah, had become Sifo's protector, his silent companion, his gratitude expressed in the most profound and tangible way. This wasn't merely a chance encounter, but a testament to the extraordinary bond forged in the crucible of rescue. The space between man and beast, often perceived as a chasm of difference, was now bridged by an invisible thread of understanding. Dear friend, thank you for taking the time to journey with us through this extraordinary tale, a story that echoes with the heartbeats of the wild. We hope you have felt the warmth of this connection, the silent understanding that blossomed between Sifo and the majestic lion. Their story isn't just a captivating anecdote, it's a powerful reminder of the delicate balance that exists between humans and the natural world. It speaks to the potential for kindness, the capacity for understanding, and the responsibility we all share in protecting the creatures with whom we share this planet. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us, to help us share more stories that celebrate the beauty, resilience, and interconnectedness of life. By subscribing, you join a community of individuals who believe in the power of storytelling to foster empathy, ignite passion, and inspire action. Together, we can create a world where the bonds between humans and animals are cherished, where the wild is protected, and where compassion reigns supreme. Let us all strive to be guardians of the earth, ambassadors of kindness, and witnesses to the extraordinary magic that exists all around us.